Well, con first. Um, Hi, how are you? Today's gonna be a different topic. I'm not even gonna be talking about no relationship or anything like that, man. I want to stay off of that. That's not even my lane. Thank you. Mad cute, by the way. Washing clothes for you. I'm not hitting the topic yet because I don't even know what to talk on. This is gonna go off the fly. See where it goes. Thank you. Damn, it's hot today. Yeah, I'm not gonna even gonna do it. Hello. Hi. Earlier, I think it was yesterday. Earlier yesterday, I posted this. Some gentleman, I don't know what the name of the show is though. I see it. I know who it is. It's at the end. You still got the same emojis. Grammy. Did you know your daughter was... I need to talk to you today. I want to finish that account already and get it started. Remy, you know, I know Kiala's gonna take off, so I know she's working. But Remy, you know... Alright, this is what... It was a post I put on Instagram last night. This guy was like, the relationship he's had with females was based on the relationship he had with his mom. And you know, I always say you gotta heal the roots. Yeah. She told me. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it. So someone comes and DMs me saying, you know, people who've healed, who's went through the journey and discovered this information, I feel like they're responsible for sharing. And I started thinking to myself, and I didn't want to be rude, right? Because, thank you, Cal. I didn't want to be rude because it was like, how is this someone else's responsibility for your actions, your choices, and the direction and the guidance? Everything comes from self-choice, self-decisions, and self-action, isn't it? It's nobody's responsible or accountable for somebody else's action. Like, how does it become someone else's priority when you can't even prioritize your own self in order to discover and heal your own hidden traumas, in order for you to discover what caused you and your relationships? If it was that important to you, you will make the initiative and discover and find. Because in all reality, it's all hidden within yourself. You are a book within itself, filled with wisdom and knowledge. Just don't know how to tap into it. It's all about common sense, though. Like, I always have this argument with my mom, and this is a constant battle that me and her will always have. I believe people should have common sense. Hi. If you don't love yourself, how would you ever love anybody else? You can't even love your own kids if you can't love yourself. I prioritize myself. Let me tell you how, to what degree, and to what magnitude. When my daughter... I'm not even going to say nothing because that's going to start some shit, right? But I believe everyone should have common sense, because if we're all particles of God, and if we all was to be put together, you'll see God. I believe that God puts you in charge of you, in the sense of your higher conscious, because we are constantly living from another dimension, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, because you know this, Remy. There are higher conscious, which is the best version of ourselves, is living in 5D, if I'm not mistaken, and is constantly trying to lead, guide us, and direct us. Hey, honey. I believe God put that version of us in charge of this version who's living here on the earth. You know, I read something that said that it's not a flesh living inside. No, it's not a flesh. It's not a spirit living inside of a flesh. It's a spirit covered in... I forgot how. It was kind of like... Hey, Shelby. It's kind of like... It kind of twists, right? So I was like... But it all, for me, it just makes sense that we are constant gods. Hi. I want to see you do that pole dancing again. You need to do that more often. I believe that our higher self is leading, guiding, directing, instructing, giving us intuitions, giving us hints, revealing the path. Well, you should be more confident within yourself, honey, because you looked amazing. No, I didn't order it yet. I ordered 12 other books, and I feel like going to get it, but I don't know how long it's going to take, because I already put them in the bookshelf. You see, Shelby? Look. She had a class, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. She was doing it all upside down and all, Remy. But I feel like God is not the one that's opening up opportunities for us. I don't feel like God is in. Yes, I'm from New York. I don't feel like, because if we're sprinkles, we have sprinkles of God. So we've been created in the image of God, and we have access to all of. Invite you to join. I don't know who that is. Sorry, I don't know who that is. So, but I think I'll accidentally give you. Put it like this, in reference to your question or your statement. How can you give away something that you don't have? Right? How can you give? Like if I was to ask you for $100, how is it that you gonna give $100 if you ain't got it? I feel like you gotta fully invest into yourself, fully, meaning mind, heart, spirit, soul, connection with the consciousness and all that. Let them enjoy themselves, Remy. They don't know any better. Don't bother me no more, Remy. It's when it gets like out of control that it would, but yeah, eso no es nada. You know, before like a couple months ago, I would have been spazzing right about now. It's all good. Let people be. But it's not for you to go at attacking her either, though. Now you're making it an issue because she's just trying to say something so you don't interrupt or interfere with what's going on. Shut up. It's not a movie. Just slow your roll, man. That's it. All you gotta do is just respect, man. Because people don't come in here for any of that. But anyway, I feel like we in charge of ourselves, not only in just in the sense of our choices, but I believe our higher self is constantly guiding us, instructing us, and leading us into our path to fulfill the destiny that you have been created and destined for. And every choice that you decide and alter on leads you, and it becomes the result of the life that you experience. Damn, it's getting hot up in here. Thank you. Okay, well, listen. Again, everybody stirred up in the room. Either keep it moving or I'm gonna have to block. But so in reference to the conversation someone was having the other day, so I posted this post last night actually, and it was about how the gentleman's relationship was based on the relationship he had with his mother. So it was kind of resembling, right? He said he had a messed up relationship with his moms, and he had the same kind of relationship with females he interacted with throughout his lifetime up to present, right? And well, now that he has emotional intelligence, he's doing different. But otherwise, someone DM'd me in reference to that and was like trying to make it look like, how is it my responsibility to teach someone else on how people who discovered, it is a little like, why is this not taught in schools, or why is this not something that's taught on a regular, that's out there on the forefront? Because there's men who go through, what is it? I think this is the month of, what's it called? Mental awareness, correct? If I'm not mistaken, for men. And it says that, I've read something that says it's 800,000 men who commit suicide worldwide in a year. Think about that. That's almost 1 million men in a year that die committing suicide because of mental illnesses. No, but you see, you're not. All right, let me run it back because you just came in, right? I believe that we're all particles of God. We've been created in the same image of God, right? Meaning we are all gods. I don't care however people see it and see it as being some type of ignorance, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. So I read something that says 800,000 men commit suicide yearly due to mental health. Damn, man, just that my mind's split in like 75 different places all at the same time, and I know how to process all of them, but I'm just trying to grasp which thought at the moment. Back to the female in reference to DMing me and saying that it's people who know this information should be teaching others so that they know how they go about how to learn how to deal with their personal trauma. Number one, people want to profit off of information that they have learned and attained for themselves. And if you want that information, it's not going to come free because it costs them with a price. It came with a price. And something that comes with a price is not going to be given for free. So how is it that you want something that's just going to be handed over if you're not willing to invest in yourself? Like, people want things to be handed down to them when it's free. They don't want it, right? Once a price tag is on it, they go back and say, oh, I should have got it for free. How come I didn't? You know what I'm saying? So it's like constantly contradiction in itself. People are contradictional and constantly confrontational at the same time. People don't know how to be straightforward. They don't know how to do the inner work. They, of course, I'm still doing the inner work on a regular day basis. This is something that journey is never end. As long as I'm breathing and I'm alive, I'm constantly growing, constantly learning, and constantly healing. And like I said, my two areas that I feel like I'm doing better now is my patience and my temper. See, like this individual that was texting there a little while ago, that would have irked me months ago. Now I don't let that. If you would have seen me when I was in Colombia and that thing happened, you see the difference between that short time frame at that of how much growth. Like, I'm always constantly trying to evolve. Remy, you know, you've been there. You've seen me from the forefront of being shy, not even being daring to even come on a live, not even daring to put on a video up on TikTok so people can come across it. Like, I would never do that a couple years ago, and it took me 2 years, and Remy trying to constantly encourage me on a regular basis. Like, I believe in you, Nate. People gonna listen to you, Nate. Nate, put it out there, Nate. You have valuable essence to you, Nate. and she constantly was encouraging me. So she's like one of the first believers in me. Thank you, CEO. I feel like and you always have been, and that I know. You know, like that I know. We still got to finish that account though. Because you saw it when it was in a dark place. And you still saw the light. Even though it was in a dark place, right? She's coming over today, actually. Tonight. So once I do this live, I got to go and get her. And I want to take her to go see the Minions movie. I want to take her to go see the... I forgot what it's called, but it's all the emotions and the feelings. Each one of them has a color. So when she was little, she would say daddy, and it was the angry one that used to blow off, the red one. Then there's the green ball, the blue ball or purple ball represented sadness. Green was joy, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot what it's called. Oh, I know. I want to do the apparel. I still want to do... I just did the audios, actually, because I got home at... You know I get home early all the time. I got home at 2:30 today. And by the time I got settled in and everything, and then to go do the audios took a little hour. And now this is why I come at the time that I come on this. Is it Father's Day this weekend? Look, I don't even know when that is. I don't even care for it, to be honest with you. Yes, Inside Out is the name of the movie. Well, I want to take her to see that. Because now the new one, now she's a little older. I think she's a teenager. So I want to be able to have something where me and my daughter could constantly have correspondence and relations. And then she see things, but she'll see it from dad constantly being the one to take her with pivotal moments in life where my dad invested in me. He always made it his business on certain things. So, like, I want her to remember that I took her to the movies to see that. Like, I think it's an imaginary friend, so it's called If. I took her to go see If, and now If was very interesting, and even she found it, and I was like, did you notice that in order for her to find her imaginary friend, she had to relate to that time frame from when she was a child, not where the imaginary friend was trying to meet her as an adult. So she didn't know her as an adult. So the imaginary friend had to meet her, the other individual, as when they were younger. And then that's when they corresponded and collided together. To be honest with you, oh, she's coming over tomorrow. Tonight. Sorry. She'll be with me tonight. And my daughter just recently got her monthly. And that was surprising. And it's still daunting at me. Like, it's still like... This kid is old enough to carry a kid, allegedly. Right? Which I think is insane. But I don't want to put... somebody was recommending a shot that it slows it down. I'm like, I don't want to put her to take some shots because I don't believe. Definitely. I don't know. I don't believe in doctors. Like, I don't put my trust and faith in doctors, personally. I just recently went to the doctor. Yeah, somebody was recommending to get her that. And I was like, I'm not doing that to her. Hell no. Because I remember when I was dealing with someone a few years ago, they were reading up on it and they had a pamphlet. And they was like, yo, but in the long-term effect, it's not even worth having. And it might mess it up for them from being able to have kids. She was like, I don't know how to feel about that. So my mind automatically just said no. So when the person brought it up, it's like, oh, if you can always look. I'm like, nah, man. Not doing it. I'm not gonna put my kid through something like any shots. I'm not agreeing with it. Hey, sweet. I'm not gonna do that to her. She's only 10. Why would I put her in a position, in a predicament? Thank you for the love, sweetheart. So that was my decision. So I wasn't even gonna bring it up and tell the mother about it. I don't believe in it. I don't agree with it. So, but as far as me posting something that says the relationship a man had with women was based on the relationship he had with his mom, and I kind of reflected on it. Like, I have a great communication relationship with my mom. I was able as a child to be open and honest with my mom. I was able to be transparent with her, where she constantly will speak on sex since I was a little kid. So when I actually engaged and had the first time I interacted with a woman, a female, she was older. First person I called was my mom. So there was only one time me and my mom kind of like had a fallout. And that was in reference to her telling me about my father when I was 22. And the thing that bothered me the most is when she says she met up with him. Hello. Happy Friday to you. So she says she met up with him and that he said for me to contact him. Hold up. I told my mom, number one, you should know me better. I'm not kissing up to no man's ass that I never had in my life. So first and foremost, we could dismiss that man right now. Number two, you know better. You know me better. That I always told you I don't need no man. That I'm going to be the pivotal man in my own life. I don't need a role model. I never needed someone because I never had anybody. How is it that I'm going to need something I never had? So I kind of got upset and disappointed with my mom because she kind of made me look like a fool in front of this dude when she was having these conversations with him. She should have just defended me and said, listen, you don't know your son. He don't need you. So he ain't going to call you. She gave me his number thinking I was going to call him. I ain't calling no man that ain't. Listen, you ain't my father. You ain't never been my father. You ain't going to start being my father at 22. I was very, very, very strong-minded. My mom did that. My family cultivated this mindset and is very resilient. Hey, sweetheart. And I don't believe that I'm not one of those dudes that cry me victim mentality where I need my dad. And my grandmother fixed that for me when I was 8 years old. Hey. So when my actual pops that was on my birth certificate, because that's another story. The one that was on my birth certificate, who is not my dad, came to me when I was 8 and he said, I'm going to take you, that you're my son. I went upstairs, told my grandmother about the whole little scenario, and she was like, listen, number one, let me tell you right now, I'm going to always be your mom. I'm going to be your dad. I'm being your grandmother. You don't need nobody. You don't need no man. And I never questioned it after that. Like, you tell me something, that's all it is. That's a fact. That's what it is. I'm rocking with it. I'm rolling with it. Because my grandmother's all I really seen. My mom lived in California. I was raised in New York. But the relationship me and my mom have is like if she's my sister. It's not really like she's my mom. But she always gave me wisdom. She always shared gems with me. And I always would tell her my life stories, situations and circumstances that was going on at the time in certain eras and time frames. My mom was always very supportive when it came to, but I noticed that when she came, actually she came on Saturday. She was here Friday. I met up with my mom's on Saturday. and me and her had dinner. We spoke for a while, and I kind of noticed some things about my mom where she kind of has a limited limit mindset, not limitless. It's limited. I'm like, your mom, I can hear it in your speech, in your talk, in your conversation, that you have a little scarcity when it comes to finances. Like, so this is where it's rooted, the fear of it. So I see how sometimes you inherit families' fears and insufficiency and insecurities and inferior ways, where it kind of makes you pick up on the vibe, you pick up and you resemble and you reflect, and it's internally ingrained because it's what you saw that was being modeled. You pick up. As a kid, you don't have a language. You only pick up on frequency. You pick up on a vibe. And that's when it becomes the energy that you actually resemble on. Shit, you know? It's crazy though. How you find out where the root trauma come from. Ain't nobody there, Remy. They all gone. They all left the room. But the one thing that I remember reading in Be Seen, she said is that whether you're talking to one or you're talking to 1,000, always make it look like you're talking to one in particular person. So that's something that I learned off that book, constantly reading it. I'm almost done with it. Literally like last 5 pages. I procrastinated on this book, and I just got 12 in yesterday. So I got 12 books in, and I already have another one that I want to. There's a book called Good Energy. It's about 400 pages thick. It's a doctor, and she's talking about. I always knew this, that the body is constantly recreating itself within a year. So we're energy, right? So the molecules, the atoms, and every aspect and fiber and being of ourselves, that the body's constantly recreating itself throughout the year. So if you think about it, you're constantly healing yourself within a year. I don't believe in medication because I don't live by any of that. I recently just went to the doctor and came back, and I had a checkup, and everything came back good, negative, and perfect. And there's nothing, like, I don't know. Like, if you know me, I don't go to the doctor. But I've been going twice a year just to get my yearly checkup. If I interact with people and something happens, I always want to go and check, just to be on the safe side. And everything came back perfect, so I'm good. But anyway, just be surprised on how mindsets resemble and reflect on people. Yeah. So back to the doctor, she was saying how not to believe everything a doctor says, that the doctors are constantly trying to pimp you, in other words. They're trying to prescribe the medication so that you could get hooked on their drugs. The legal, legit way, all they did was just went to school to be able to be a drug dealer. It's really what they are. It's when you have that mindset and you realize it came across certain information, you see things for what it is, you just come to realize who the real pharmaceutical is and who the real drug dealers are. But you're taught to believe and think different. Them street drug dealers ain't just the only drug dealers around. You believe that, you've really been blind. You have no idea what this world is full of. Our media is constantly full of false information, delusional lies, and constantly reprogramming, having you to be thought to buy into the false information that they feed you, which is fear. Fear, so they can only constantly control you based on the choices and decisions that you make on a regular day-to-day basis. There's so much that processes through my mind. Is I could say one thing, but my mind is on something totally different. And I'm trying to juggle in between the three thoughts that are processing at the same time. And today I wrote something in reference to how our scars, if you listen long enough, you'll hear the cries of your scars. But if you heal those scars, you'll start to hear the essence of your true voice, which is your divine self, your divine voice. And that will actually heal those wounds. So no longer will there be the cries of your wounds, but it starts to be the echoes of your heart. I wrote that this morning in one of my writings. But I'm about to get off. You know, ain't that many people interacting. Remy, thank you for always being supportive. Always. And everybody else that came through. I'm about to get off. Everybody enjoy y'all weekend. Stay safe. Stay relevant. Have a good one.